Star Stable Online actually has a fair amount of locked areas, some locked behind lockers and some just being a completely different area on its own. We actually know of a lot more areas in the Star Stable universe than what we actually have in the game, and I think a lot of people often forget this. The reason that we know of these areas is because of the previous Star Stable games. Star Stable has a couple of previous games which takes place in the same world as the game that is now Star Stable Online, and these older games include most of the areas, things, and places we have in Star Stable Online, but also things that are yet to be released in Star Stable, like parts of the world. This means that we have areas that we know are a part of the Star Stable map, but aren't released to us yet, and this can tell us a lot about the areas that will come. As you all know, we have locked areas in the map, but the world actually extends far beyond the map that we see in Star Stable Online. One of the areas that are currently on our map in Star Stable that we haven't unlocked yet is the area called Mystic Valley / Winter Valley, and today we are going to look into a couple of areas within Mystic Valley, and I'm really excited for this because you guys, there's so many cool areas and things that I would love to see in Star Stable Online, so yeah. The first area I want to talk about is called Cape Point, and when we're looking at these areas, we can look at both the Star Stable Online map and also the map from older games, but mainly this map from the Star Stable book series, because this tells us more about where stuff is in the map that we now use. Different maps are a little different to each other as the land looks a little bit different and contain different places, but we're going to try to not focus on that too much. We're also going to be looking a little at the map of the Star Stable Winter Riders game, which looks like this. So this map is a lot more harder to see like where the places are, but I'm going to try to highlight it best as I can. Cape Point is a part of Mystic Valley, which is this area right here, which we will talk about the other part of Mystic Valley too, as Cape Point makes up about half of Mystic Valley. But as of now in Star Stable Online, Cape Point is this very like green area, and it includes a lake and this little wheat farm areas and fences and trees all around. So this area actually exists within the Star Stable Online game right now, but it isn't really an established area, but it has some like things in there, and which is really exciting because this might mean that Star Stable is working on the area, or maybe it's just a testing point, but it is actually a point within the game right now. As I said, Cape Point is actually an area we know from before in the old Star Stable games. In the older games, Cape Point has a village, riding house, and a stable, and we know of two NPCs living in this area named Henrietta Rain, who is the owner of the stable in Cape Point, and Jack, who is a shop owner in the Cape Point village. So in the lore, this is already an established area in the Star Stable lore. But as I said, obviously it's not released yet in Star Stable, but they seem to actually have been there working on it. But as I said, we don't know if that's what they're really doing. But yeah, the current look of this area in Star Stable is pretty interesting because it looks a lot like what the Tabletop Village did before it was released. On the way to the area, there's also a flat spot that some people theorize might be for a home stable like thing, but some people also believe that for now Cape Point is simply just a testing area for SSO. But as I said, I'm kind of like opposed to that. This area seems like it is in development, and with the already existing history of the area, it is likely to be released at some point, but I don't think it's something that will be released anytime soon. Not only this area, but a bunch of these areas that I'm going to talk about are actually close to Dino Valley as well. So it's theorized that once these areas get released, we'll also have further story on the Coulters. And a lot of people also call this place Coulters Valley. But you guys know I already made a video on the Coulters, so go and watch that if you're interested in hearing more about that. In the Star Stable Winter Riders game, we also learned about an area called Pine Hill Village, which is located northeast of Cape Point, and it's also arguably a part of Mystic Valley. The village is home to the well-known Pine Hill Mansion, which probably most of you know what it is, but if you didn't know, it's the residence of Mr. Sands that he uses when he isn't on the oil rigs, and it's also rumored to be haunted. But the village of Pine Hill is not really that big, and it seems to be partly corrupted. It's hard to know if we will be seeing this area in Star Stable Online because the village itself is not very big, but it does contain a very important part of the story, which, as I said, is Pine Hill Mansion. Pine Hill Mansion is actually mentioned in Star Stable Online, as Lisa had claimed to doing studies there, but that's about how far we've gotten with it being in Star Stable Online. Another interesting location to be nearby / in Mystic Valley is actually the Dark Core headquarters. I don't think that the location of the headquarters has actually been confirmed any other places than this map. Even your Wikipedia seems to be unsure about the exact location of the headquarters, but according to the book, it is by the sea of Mystic Valley. And this would make sense as you can actually take the boat from Cape West Fishing Village and to the headquarters. And looking at the map, you wouldn't really have to go that far, so that makes sense, though I don't really believe that this location is too important as the oil rig actually exploded in recent quests, so I don't really see a reason to why we would need to go there. I mean, I don't think it's there anymore, but anyways, that's where it kind of is like rumored to be, and it makes sense also with the map. We also have Meander Village, which I think that's how you say it, village or Meander Village, I don't know, which is also located northeast of Cape Point, but it's a little closer than Pine Hill Village. So Meander Village is a pretty small village. The village of Meander consists of a few houses that's scattered around in a small area from the beach halfway up the mountain in the north. And it includes the NPC Eric Lowe, but other than that, there isn't much more to the village. A lot of these small villages in the older games don't really have a lot to them other than like stables and riding houses. So obviously I think that if these areas came to Star Stable Online, Star Stable would obviously have to put a lot more stuff in them, because, you know, we all know they're kind of greedy and like want to sell us as much as possible. So I'm just kidding, but I definitely think that there would be a lot more in these areas if they actually came to Star Stable. But yeah, this area doesn't really include that much. If we look at the map, we can also see a place named Crater of Yore, which includes Dino Valley, Ashland, and also a reservoir of sorts. It's like a Valedale Lake type place. Now for the part that I think the most about, and that actually gets me a little excited talking about this, and it is about the areas that exist now that could possibly lead us into this area of Mystic Valley. So, you know, obviously if these areas are to be unlocked, we obviously need some sort of way to get in there, and we can actually kind of see which area would have to be unlocked in order for us to start going into this area. We know for a fact that the next area to be released is going to be around this area, since it pretty much is the only place left on our map right now. But since there are so many villages and points in like different places, Mystic Valley most likely won't really be released all together in one. I mean, I don't think that Star Stable is releasing this huge chunk like all together. I think that it would be like piece by piece. Northlink is a construction site area in Star Stable Online that is close to Silverglade Village. And this is the area, go and take like the thing up to the observatory and by the Baroness racetrack. This area has existed for a pretty long time now, and this construction happening there is a tunnel that seems to lead through the mountain. If we look at the map, we can see that there's actually a path leading from Northlink into Mystic Valley, and this point seems to be the main point of entry from Silverglade into Mystic Valley. So it actually looks like this is the only place you can go to get into Mystic Valley. So in order to get to Mystic Valley, you need to go through the mountain. But there is also this like little area where like in between Silverglade and Mystic Valley where there's like this little area of nothing, but I don't know what would be there. Maybe it's just like the inside of the mountain, and that's just where the tunnel will go, but I don't know. As you all know, the Northlink area is right besides the Baroness racetrack, which was also under construction for several years, so who knows, maybe the construction of the Northlink tunnel will also be finishing soon. Dino Valley is located not so far away from Mystic Valley, but there is a mountain chain kind of like separating the two areas, so there isn't really any road in Dino Valley that leads to the outside of the valley except for the road that leads to Ashland. But then again, Ashland doesn't really lead anywhere either, but it is really close to the reservoir I talked about earlier. But on this map, it doesn't really seem like this leads anywhere into Mystic Valley, even though a lot of people call this Culture Valley, and some people even believe that this is where the cultures went. There's really no way knowing how they got in there. I mean, there's really no path there. Could be from the Icing Gate. This could be where the Icing Gate leads, but yeah. Since Star Stable has so many games made before it, it already has a well-established geography and history behind it. Personally, I think it's really interesting to look into because these are really areas that are highly likely to make it into Star Stable Online. It's kind of like just a matter of time. It seems like the Star Stable team has stayed true to the lore in the game and followed through with adding areas that actually exist in the story. Though on this map and other maps, Tailtop Village doesn't actually seem to have existed before it came to Star Stable. I don't know, I might be wrong on this, like please let me know if you know if it actually existed in previous games, but as far as I can remember it didn't. And there was nothing like on the map before, so it's not like it took the place of anything else. But still, I can make a completely different video of how much I dislike Tailtop Village, but I will leave that for another time. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any theories relating to this or information about this. I want to make a video similar to this but about Jorvik City instead and that whole part of Jorvik, so let me know if you would like that. Anyways, I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and as I said, please leave a comment. I always try to respond, so yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!